So, I'm going to be doing, much like my video on Superman comic recommendations, there is another superhero movie coming this month, and I thought it would be kind of fun to do some superhero comic recommendations that are a little more off the beaten path. So, without further ado, I'm going to do some comic recommendations for the Fantastic Four. Now, you've probably been on, if you're looking for Fantastic Four comics to read that everyone subscribes to for videos or pages or recommendation lists, there's usually four runs that people always say to check out if you want to read Fantastic Four. Stan Lee and Jack Kirby's run, the Mark Waid run, the John Byrne run, and the Jonathan Hickman run. Those are, your four biggest runs for the Fantastic Four to check out. Those are those are arguably the best ones. But if you come to my channel, I'm going to give you comics that are a little more, that are a little more off the beaten path. So without further ado, let's talk about our first book, Fantastic Four Life Story. This is an alternate universe that was supposed to be the second book in the Life Story novels. Basically, this and Spider-Man Life Story were the only ones ever made, and essentially what it is a comic line that basically focused on superheroes aging from the 60s to the 80s in these storylines. This comic also was a major inspiration for the new movie. Specifically with how they treat Galactus, of being like this Lovecraftian nightmare. So, it's really solid. The writer is Mark Russell. The comic is it's a lovely story about family and how these characters, live through the family drama and also, like, aging and also, like, how they do battle with the likes of, Galactus and his coming. Like, that's the whole thing, is that Galactus is like an overarching story. There isn't really a lot of Doctor Doom in here until the last issue, but the main focus is Galactus's arrival on Earth, and almost like treating him like a Lovecraftian nightmare. It's a great story, it's a great family story, and shows why the family is so great. Anyway, so there you go. Now to move on to the current run going on in Fantastic Four. Fantastic Four by Ryan North. Ryan North has such a great voice for these characters, and I was a little iffy about his comics at first, because at the same time, he was basically doing the same thing Zeb Wells was doing with Spider-Man, where it was like, what did the Fantastic Four do? Turns out, it was pretty bad, but not as bad as you think, and also not as contrived and stupid as what Zeb Wells' Spider-Man did. I was a little leery about it, but now I really love this run. It's actually coming to an end before being renumbered for the next chapter of Ryan North's series. So yeah, I've been reading this in trade. It's been really solid. There's about 5 volumes out, soon to be 6 once the latest story ends. But it's basically the Fantastic Four on these very fun adventures, encountering classic villains, also doing battle with, like, Doctor Doom. And the main focus of the first half of this storyline is that the Fantastic Four don't have a home. They don't have the Baxter Building anymore. It's gone. And are the Fantastic Four still fantastic without their abilities? That's kind of the big draw line of the book, is are the Fantastic Four still a great family? And it actually, like, makes me go, does Ryan North want to write Doctor Who? Because these are some very Doctor Who kind of storylines. It's a lot of fun, so I highly recommend it. Next is a Spider-Man Fantastic Four comic called Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four. This is written by Christos Gage with artwork by what's his name? Albretti? Mario Albretti. This comic also has a sister book called Spider-Man and the X-Men, and it's kind of the same thing, where we look at lost adventures that have an overarching story involving Spider-Man and the Fantastic Four, and these lost adventures where they teamed up. This comic, I like the Spider-Man X-Men one, but I love this, because this comic basically really hits home that Peter and the Fantastic Four are family. Like, they've been together through so much, and hell, the Fantastic Four showed up in Spider-Man #1. These characters are intrinsically tied to each other, and each issue deals with Spider-Man in different points in time, and him how he views each of the Fantastic Four. There's a lot of great stories in here, like the Venom, after Peter left the Venom symbiote with the Fantastic Four, and how it tries to bond with Reed. You also have a story where Sue and Peter team up to save the new Fantastic Four, and don't worry, we'll get to them in a moment. But yeah, this comic is self-contained and a lot of fun. And if you want to read a comic where the Fantastic Four and Spider-Man are, like, why I like them, and want to see why I like them more than, you know, Spider-Man with Daredevil, even though that's a good friendship too, this is not a friendship. This is a family. So there you go. Speaking of the new Fantastic Four, the new Fantastic Four. This is a fun, dumb book that was kind of written at a time where Fantastic Four was kind of really lagging in story. So what happened was Walt Simonson and Arthur Adams got together to do this comic, which involved the Fantastic Four getting captured and faked and having their deaths faked by a Skrull agent, who then proceeds to bring together Spider-Man, the Hulk, Ghost Rider, and Wolverine to become the new Fantastic Four and manipulate them into a situation involving Mole Man and the monster and his monsters. The artwork alone by Arthur Adams is completely awesome. Like, Arthur Adams is a master of drawing monsters, and this comic also does not take itself seriously. I think it's only like 4 issues long. Like, that's really the length of this book. There's a lot of great comedy between the characters, and again, this basically comes out at an era where the Fantastic Four were kind of lagging, so this is to breathe new life in them, and I think it did a good job. If you want like a fun story that is not really a Fantastic Four story, but it is, here you go. Peter David, rest his soul, did a sequel book to this a few years back before he passed. It's also a nice little sequel story. Next up, for another recommendation, Invisible Woman, Partners in Crime. This is actually written by Mark Waid and is a miniseries involving the Invisible Woman and a secret part of her life. Basically, it's revealed that Nick Fury called upon Sue Storm a lot to be a secret agent of S.H.I.E.L.D. So in here, we have her teaming up with Black Widow to deal with a dark conspiracy, and we get to see how if you ever wondered how powerful the Invisible Woman is, here you go. This is a great spy story, and it's also like a cool femme fatale kind of thing with Sue Storm, who, yeah, Sue is the most powerful. She may not be have the same intellect as Reed, but guess what? She's the most powerful member of the team, and she basically showcases that in a great story by Mark Waid. Again, like I said, Mark Waid's one of the Fantastic Four runs that are absolutely necessary for reading. This book is also like a nice little addendum of that. Next up, some more, some Thing books. So, Thing, The Next Big Thing, and Thing Freak Show. This is written by Walter Mosley. Let's talk about The Next Big Thing first. This is a fun book where the Thing is on the outs with Alicia and finds a new girl who turns out to be Death and goes on this big cosmic romp. It's very much, The Thing is my favorite of the Fantastic Four, and I'm sure a lot of you guys are going to say the same as well, that the thing, Ben Grimm is just the everyman going on, crazy cosmic adventures. And that's what this book is. It involves him encountering the likes of Doom and others. I'd also recommend, I didn't pull it out of my collection, but there's another book called Clobberin' Time, which is a cool book where the Thing finds himself on a cosmic adventure with other characters like Doctor Strange and Wolverine. And it's a cool art book. It's a beautiful piece of art, too. The artwork in here is pretty good, too. And there's also, great callbacks to, some deep cuts with the Fantastic Four. I love this series. It's a cool mini-series and just kind of showcases that the next big thing is the Thing. Now to the other book of the Thing Freak Show. This is actually artwork by Scott Collins and written by Geoff Johns before he did Marvel. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. This book is one of the few Geoff Johns Marvel books. This comic focuses on the Thing who's kind of feeling bad for himself and he basically is just kind of feeling sad for himself and ends up at a town where he actually made fun of a local carnival show and finds himself in a conspiracy involving the Kree and the Skrull. It's a cool little fun book involving the Thing getting caught up in some cosmic shenanigans without anyone to help him, but he's like, I've done this so many times, I just know how to punch things. I recommend this. This is a fun book. Now, what would the Fantastic Four be without their villains? And who better to talk about than Doctor Doom? So, Doctor Doom's, these are two books together. Doctor Doom, and I'm hoping they've reprinted this, because I've looked everywhere. These books are apparently hard to find now. The Doctor Doom maxi series by Christopher Cantwell is one of the best villain books I've ever read. Essentially what it is a great little story about Doctor Doom, in which Doom is framed for destroying a space station, and now is torn from Latveria with people after him. He encounters Mephisto, he teams up with Kang, and it's all involving the Death having an ultimate plan for him. I love this book. It just shows what kind of a faceted character Doctor Doom is. If you want some other Doctor Doom recommendations, I would say Ed Brubaker's Books of Doom. That's another solid one of a solid origin of Doctor Doom. I think it's also considered the definitive one. No one's really touched that one. But yeah, also another one, but it's a Doctor Strange team-up, is Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange Trial and Torment. But that one might be a little pricey unless you get one of the essentials. Anyway, so yeah, this comic basically is a perfect showcase for Doctor Doom as a character, and there's a great back and forth between him and Reed, just to showcase how much of a petty bitch Victor is. And finally, he is Fantastic Four adjacent, and I was kind of debating whether or not to conclude this book, but fuck it. Submariner: The Depths. This is a horror book from Marvel Knights, and I've talked about this book before, and it's a great horror show. This comic is basically about a group of people going to find Atlantis and encounter Namor, who is treated like a Lovecraftian nightmare. Not in the sense of like tentacles and shit, but like the great unknown. It's a dark story, and it's a scary story at some points. Like, there are just some panels here, like, people are talking, and if you notice, like, Namor's hand's on the glass, and then you look, oh, he's gone now. It's things like that. So there you go, guys. Those are a little more off the beaten path Fantastic Four recommendations. I hope that helps. But until then, you guys tell me in the comments below, what are some Fantastic Four comic recommendations that you would include? Just comment below, let me know. Other than that, hope y'all enjoyed this. I'm Mr. Multiverse. I'll see you next time in the Multiverse.